Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike. I'm the moderator in the series of videos that is all about Persian rugs and carpets from around the world. And in this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview, and I figured the best way to do it is to show you actually about 15 examples, about 15 or 20 examples of very high-end Persian rugs. These are the silk foundation Tabriz Persian rugs. As you know, the Tabriz, if you are someone who follows Persian rugs or if you're into Persian rugs, the Tabriz Persian rugs, and like I said, we got about a little bit over a dozen of them here. They are considered to be everywhere from being very low quality pieces or standard quality pieces to very high-end pieces. The Tabriz Persian rugs are amongst the best known types of Persian rugs. They are made with a Turkish double knot, and I have many other videos that I put links to at the end of this video where you can see the differences in qualities in Tabriz Persian rugs and everything. But in this video, I'm going to show you something that most of you will probably never be able to see, whether it is at a rug store, and that is, or a rug convention, or really anywhere. And that is a collection of all the same size. These are all 2.5 by 3.5 meter Tabriz rugs. They start out in this piece right here, this collection right here. This is the lowest quality one that I'm going to show you is a Faraji 55 Raj. For those of you that know about Persian rugs, you know a 55 Raj Tabriz basically means silk foundation. The fringes are silk, as I'm going to show you briefly. They have a knot count of about 350 to 400. That is going to be the starting point of this video. And I'm going to introduce you, I'm going to briefly show you each one of them. So basically, we are going to start out with what would be considered to be almost like an entry-level Mercedes. This is going to be a collection of very fine rugs, starting at a 55 rug, which a lot of retailers actually sell as 60. And then we're going all the way down to the finest. These are the ones where the retailers will sometimes even exaggerate and they sell them for 100 rug, but they're actually closer to 80. But these are carpets that are worth a whole lot of money. Most of you have never seen them in person. Even 99% of rug stores do not carry these types of rugs. And the few that have them, they only have like one or two of them. Well, being that I'm in the family of wholesalers and we so happen to be specializing in the Tabriz rugs, well, this is our bread and butter right here. This is how we make our money. But we supply the rug stores. But in order for us to be able to take the call and supply them with the rugs, well, we have to have them. So like many of the wholesalers, everyone kind of has their own specialty. Well, our specialty so happens to be, and my family is actually from Tabriz. Even though, like I said, I was born and raised here in Germany, and then I went off to the States when I was a kid, and basically I now go back and forth between Germany and the States. But to give you a brief overview, this is going to be a video with a selection of Tabriz rugs that you will, I don't think you're going to find it anywhere in just about any rug store in the world. So I'm going to do what I always do, get behind the camera, and then I'm going to briefly open up each rug. I'm going to show you some of the features. So let's get this show started. It's something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and I've also had some subscribers and some of my regular clients asking me about, so I'm kind of excited about it. So I'm going to get started here in just a second. All right, so to get things started with this video, here we have, this is as I mentioned to you, I'm going to go with the lowest to the highest quality Tabriz silk foundation. Now remember, these are already all very fine pieces. Here we have a Gombad. With the Gombad pieces, the Tabriz rugs, typically on the silk foundation pieces, you can see lots of details there's not a lot of silk. The silk on the Gombad pieces, you can see right here, I'm running my fingers through the areas. There's some silk in the details, but due to the cost of keeping, these rugs have to be absolutely perfect. If there is going to be any issues, the Gombad design is not going to come out perfectly. So this is why the focus on the Gombad rugs is on the symmetry, the workmanship. This is also why most of the weavers lack the skills. Even though they are simply weaving a rug, which may sound, and when I say simple, obviously I don't mean it that way, but what I mean by that is they have to be extremely careful to make sure that every knot is of the same density, of the same thickness, because otherwise the symmetry will be off. So here we have, this is a perfect example of what a very fine detailed Gombad design looks like in a silk foundation. So let's go on to the next one. Here we have silk foundation, 55 Rudge. This is a Faraji. This is a genuine signed Faraji, the Faraji weaving family, which is both. These are weavers as well as designers. There's the Faraji signature. They are literally, this design is named after them. They pioneered this floral design. Absolutely beautiful. And as I go from the dark side to the light side, you can see, as I'm going to turn the camera around, you can now see the silk. Whereas in the Gombads, there was not a whole lot of silk. Notice, I'm just going to point my finger right there. See this hole right here? It's just popping at you. That is all silk that is shining back at you. So this is what the Faraji, classic Faraji looks like without a medallion. The clients love these for their formal dining rooms, sometimes large retreats, formal living rooms, really nice pieces. But this is your average, classic, high quality Faraji. Here we have the second Faraji. Notice the design, very unlike Tabriz. This is the other. So we talked about, I'm just showing you two Faraji designs. This is also classic Faraji. Silk foundation, but it is this design right here with these large floral patterns, lots of silk on them, and then as is customary, you will have the Faraji signature right there. But again, as I always tell my clients, on these types of rugs, you're really not yet in the, you're not worrying too much about paying for the name. If somebody in this quality range, the 55 range, makes a big deal about the signatures, walk away. They're trying to con you. I'm just pointing out, I zoomed in on that area right here. As you can see, I'm standing about 6 feet away from the rug. But you notice that silk that shines at you? That is all silk in the design. And that is what the Farajis are known for. Very formal rugs. So that is our second silk foundation, large Faraji. So we're going to keep on going to the next. So with the 55 Raj Tabriz rugs out of the way, we're now moving up into the 60 Raj. And here we have, and you can already tell the difference. The 60 Raj, you notice how there's so much more silk in the design that's just popping at you and the flowers and everything. Well, here we have a beautiful 60 Raj signed, designed Benam. For those of you that are into the Persian rug, especially for those of you that are knowledgeable about the Tabriz rugs, you will know the Benam family is one of the best known Tabriz weaving families. But I'm going to show you later on the difference between a Tabriz rug that has the Benam design. This one just says Benam, and this is typical. This may actually not be made by the Benam workshop. Here you have, this is a very classic design. This is what you would typically expect to find in a Tabriz rug. But I want you to keep this signature in mind, because you are going to see later an actual genuine Benam masterpiece. So here is now the beginning of what I'm going to say the 60 Raj field. So I'm going to see you again here now in a little bit with the next one. So here we have now, this is a 60 Raj. You can tell a little bit unusual. This is a genuine. This is a rare piece, lots of silk, but you can see by the design, this is not your average typical piece right here. The signature, Fariabi, is an extremely, well, if you know about Tabriz rugs, you know who the weaver is. But chances are, this is like really what separates the amateurs from the pros. This is a name, the workshop, they design and weave their own rugs. And what is really beautiful about these rugs is the attention to detail. And they really shun away from the classic pieces. Even though this looks like a classic medallion piece, you look at the borders, you look at the color combinations, you look at the designs, what you're not seeing is what can I tell you? This is anything but a classic piece. And this is really what the Fariabi family is all about. As I mentioned to you, this is 60 Raj. So we're talking right about 400 knots per square inch. So, and it's just going to keep on getting better and better and better. And so I'm going to see you again here now with the next one. So here is one of our next ones. And we are now entering, this is a high 60 Raj. This is now venturing almost towards the 70 Raj. But there is something very beautifully unique about this weaver. The signature is the name. To pronounce the name is impossible for me. So we have weaver, I'm just pointing out to you, and this is actually from the dark side. Let me show you something here. I have one of our helpers, he's extremely shy. He does not like to be on camera. But I asked him to come in and help me with these rugs, and you can see all of this is silk. This is absolutely phenomenal, the detailed, but I, for the love of God, cannot pronounce his name. So I have my friend Najib here, who's going to literally, he's going to speak into the camera and he's going to give you the name.
Sanoi Qaraboghi.
Okay.
Sanoi Qaraboghi.
Okay, with my German-American accent, there is no way in hell that could have even come out of me without screwing it up in every which way. But we have our brother Najib over here. He is just, without him, none of this would be possible. Normally, he leaves the room when I take the videos, but because we are doing the large rugs, I thought I'm just going to keep him here. I obviously need him. But this is now the high end of the 60 rug. This would be something that a lot of the rug stores would actually be selling as a 70. But in all honesty, this is just what we call a high 60. So next, I'm going to show you what a 70 rug Tabriz is all about. And remember, you are now entering a world where the pure silk rugs are of the same price. I mean, these wool with silk rugs, and these is very fine lamb wool silk foundation, but they are still classified as wool rugs. Once you get into the 70 rug that you're about to enter into, you are entering into rugs that are literally worth as much as pure silk rugs. So I'm going to see you again here in just a minute. This 70 rug Tabriz rug is one that I actually featured on its own in one of my other videos. What is unique, these 70 rugs are extremely rare pieces. Like I said, you are now entering, this is a rug that costs as much as a pure silk rug would be. Extremely fine. Here is the signature of the weaver, Ijadi. See, you got Najib in the back there. He's trying to be quiet so I can take the videos, but he's also listening and laughing at me because I cannot pronounce. I have to be honest with you. I don't know how to read and write. I can speak Farsi, but I don't know how to read and write. And as my family always says, my Farsi is quite ghetto. So I stick to my English and my German. But as you can see here, the details in the 70 rug is absolutely phenomenal. These are masterpiece quality. These are, we're now looking at about 600 knots per square inch. Depending on the design, on the pictorial ends, there's actually sometimes a little bit less silk. And you're about to see pieces where there is a ton of silk. So this is actually the lowest of our 70 rug pieces. There's going to be higher quality as you're about to see. So here we are. Next one. I mentioned to you earlier we had a Benam. Well, this is a genuine Benam. This is something that most rug stores will, generally speaking, I don't know of anyone that actually would have them in their rug store. This is something that if a rug store has a very special client, they would be contacting basically businesses like us who are the wholesalers and say, look, we have a client who's looking at buying a substantial, very fine Persian rug, and then we would ship it to them, and then they would sell it as basically pretending like it's theirs. But this is something that I also featured in one of my other videos. There is the signature. This is Tahta Benam, and what it means is that this is not only woven by them, but it was also designed by them. This signature is extremely rare, but it is genuine. And what you see right here, when you compare it to the difference, I'm just going to walk around here. Like I said, I featured this rug in its own earlier. Look at all that silk that is just jumping at you. What you see, all that shininess that you see in the picture, all of that is silk, pure silk. In the flowers, along the borders. These are the types of rugs that the clients, this is basically now the best of the best. Well, almost, as you're about to see. So here we have another one. Earlier I showed you the Benami piece. Well, this is another extremely, this is obviously a 70 Raj Tabriz. As we said, we're going to be going higher in terms of quality. This is one of the best known Persian rug names when it comes to Tabriz rugs. And this is Shifar. It means Tache Shifar. And what that means is design Shifar. This is a genuine Shifar. The Shifar rugs, they are very much classic designs in the Tabriz rugs, but because the design are so popular and they're so common, a lot of weavers will weave these types of rugs and then add the signatures. Well, when it comes to these types of masterpieces, and keep in mind, a rug like this can easily take 3 weavers about 2 years to make. As I always tell people, you look at the width of the rug, in this case 2.5 meters. So 2 to 3 weavers could be sitting here, and they would literally be spending, about 2 years for a quality of this 70 Raj quality of this size. This is what you're looking at. This is why they are so expensive, and they're becoming more and more expensive as time goes on. But the reason that I also keep walking around with a camera is because I want you to see the difference between light and dark. And on the dark, you can see how the silk stands out. So again, this is a genuine Benam. Okay, I have to tell you, while we were opening this rug, Najib was laughing at me because he was saying, Mike, you just said the last rug, you signed it off as a Benam, but it was a Shifar. So the last rug was a Shifar, and he's saying yes. So now, here we have, again, when you go into the 70 rugs, you notice the design. I mean, everything about this rug is about as unusual as it comes. But here is the deal. If you are looking at, and this is a genuine piece, and some of the weavers, they are extremely proud of their signature. They make a very big deal about it. Others, the signature is so hidden that I cannot even find it. So in this piece right here, there it is. I had to ask Najib to come and bail me out. Look at the signature. This is Soha. This is the designer of this rug right here. But look at the signature. And then look at the rug. How in the world would anybody even know that there was a signature there unless you knew about it? Now, typically Tabriz rugs, I always tell my clients, you're not paying for the signature, you're paying for the quality. But when it comes to these type of high-end quality, it is actually more common to find the rugs with signatures than without. On the lower quality Tabriz rugs, the signatures are actually very scarce. But on these type of masterpieces, and we're now entering what we call the art piece quality, the signatures become important. They are just a part of their design of the rugs. And like I said, these are all masterpieces. So I'm going to see you again next with one of my own personal favorites. And here we are back again. This is now, I believe, one of the last remaining. This is a very high 70 rug. This is a gorgeous variation of the Gombad design, one of the most popular types of, this is actually called the Jafai, the Gombad design. Extremely popular. It's almost like the bursting sun. Think of a mosque. If you were to, or look at any type of Middle Eastern architecture, and you go inside, you look at the walls, you look at the ceilings. This is what you typically find in the tile pattern. Extremely fine, and it has a great deal of personal meaning for me. My parents had I cannot pronounce this one correctly, Malakuti design. And the signature right here, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because you would think that after all these decades, I would remember. But Malakuti is something that I am, and my friend Najib is shaking his head in disapproval as I pronounce the name and screw it up in every which way. But this designer also made very similar Gombad piece that my parents had in their living room. And so to me, this right here, this is rare. This has a great deal. I mean, this really means the world to me. And so I just wanted to let you know, thought I just mentioned it, but it is one of the finest Gombad pieces that we have in our collection. And again, these are extremely fine pieces because we're now entering into what is the over the top. These are now the best of the best that you're about to go into. And so I'm going to see you again here in just a second. And here we have, this is the highest 70 rudge that we have. This is also Benam design, and you can see on the very high end Tabriz rugs, you also get the solid black. And then you have pieces like these. So you have the solid black, and then you look at the medallion, and you almost look at the entire medallion, how it just shines at you. I'm just going to go from the light side to the dark side. Well, just about all of it is pure silk. That is what an over-the-top Tabriz rug is all about. You are now, I mean, like I said, this would be, like I said, you're approaching like the Rolls-Royce category of Persian rugs. These are extremely fine, detailed pieces. In many ways, you can actually see right here, you can see how the amount of silk and how it's, the workmanship is just out of this world. These are the best of the best. And like I said, this is something that you typically don't find in the rug stores. But we still have another couple of pieces that are even much finer than this one that you're about to see next. Okay, second to last in our video. Here is also another Benam inspired Tabriz rug. You're looking at a very high 70. This would be offered by most retailers as an 80. And I would probably imagine there are some that are going to exaggerate and call this one a 90 as well. But you're basically looking at about a 700 knot per square inch. Extremely fine Tabriz rug. Like I said, this is one of the finest pieces that we have. It's a silver medalist. That's the way to put it. In this contest right here, and like I said, you have seen a collection of extremely fine Tabriz rugs. The sheer collection of it. This is something that virtually no rug store can offer you. These are extremely valuable. They are expensive to buy, but they're also expensive to buy for us as wholesalers. So, I mean, this is the best of the best, really. So, I'm going to see you again here now with the very last piece, which is also the finest one. So, I'm going to see you again. Just a second. So here we have the best of the best, an 80 rudge Tabriz rug. Now I welcome you to look at all the websites, go to all the rug stores, ask anyone to show you a genuine 80 rudge Tache Benam. And what this means is that this is an 80 rush. 700 knots per square inch, extremely fine. I mean, just trying to keep this rug straightened is next to impossible. You see all the silk. Yes, this rug probably has about 25-30% silk in the design. Then you have this genuine signature. Now, I always tell my clients, you don't worry about the signature. But you have Iran, Tabriz, Tache, Benam. This is what the genuine signature looks like. But as you can see in the close-ups, the silk. And this is now from the dark side. From the dark side, you can see how much silk there is. So just imagine how much more there is to see when you go from the light side. I mean, you see the flowers, you see all the details. This is one of the finest rugs that we have in our collection. And this is also the perfect way to end this video. This has been a collection of very fine Tabriz rugs. A collection the likes virtually no rug store could afford to be able to offer to their clients. So I hope you liked this adventure, this journey into the high-end Tabriz rugs. As always, feel free to let us know if you have any questions in the comment section or email us at mprugs.com. Subscribe if you are into Persian rugs, and we'll be coming back to you with many more videos to come. Take care. Best wishes from all of us. Bye-bye.